Okay, so good day everyone. Today we are going to see how I clean a data set in Excel. So we are given this dirty data set. So this is how it is. So what you have to do is you have to clean it, make it look presentable. So what you do is you create a new sheet where your clean data set will be. When you create a new sheet where your clean data set will be, you go back to the dirty data set, copy everything or do Control A. When you do it, you copy. When you copy it, you go to the clean empty sheet that you created, paste it. Let me just do Control V or paste. When you paste it, this is how it will be. So the first thing you have to do is you you highlight everything again. Look for this, make sure this arrow is showing. When it's showing, you press it 2 times. It expands everything to show every name that is visible. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to delete this one. Why? Because they are the same thing and there's nothing like the one you see here, the one you see here, the one you see here, and there's no naming for this one. So you delete it. You delete it. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to highlight everything again. When you highlight everything, you go to editing. You go to sort and filter. No, you go to data. When you go to data, because you have to remove the duplicates next. So remove duplicates for everything. Duplicate meaning that the things that are in twos. You don't need anything in double, you need one of everything. So you have to remove duplicates of everything in the columns. So what you do, you remove duplicates, which is okay. So it shows you that one value has been removed. So it's now 46 unique values. So see everything you've removed duplicates. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to insert a new column between the B and the C column. So what you're going to do is you're going to insert a new column, insert. When you insert, you copy this because this is not how I want the data set to be. So you insert a new column. After inserting a new column, we want to clean this big column now. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy this, paste it here. So when you paste it, you're going to, the next thing we are going to do in the agenda, we want to trim it. Trim it meaning that in case, like, imagine if you have a big data set, we can't just check whether there's extra space or nothing like that. So the next thing we have to do is we want to trim it. We want to remove any excess space in the big column. So what you're going to do is equals to trim. When we do equals to trim, it has already showed itself. We press here, close the bracket, see it like this. So we do the same thing also. We do it here. But I don't want it to be capital letter in both in the names. I want it to be capital letter, then small letter. So the next thing I have to do now is between this, I open a bracket again, I put proper. So I close the bracket again. Because any bracket you open in Excel, you must close it. If not, it will have an error. So I close the bracket, I put enter. See, this is what I'm getting. So I do it for the next 2 columns. Equals to trim, proper. Then I select the row, which is B3. I close brackets. See, I do the same thing. So now I've done for 3 rows. The next thing I want to do is I want to extend everything. So I want to extend everything. So I drag it down. So when I drag it, this is what I get. You see, here and here they are different, but I don't want this old one again. I've already finished cleaning this cell. I don't want this old one again. I want to remove this old one. And I can't just come and do delete. You see, it will show this error. So the thing I'm going to do, I'll do Control Z. I'm going to copy this. So when I copy this, I'm going to paste it as a value here. So this 3, this thing, that is what I want to do. So I'm going to press it. I've pasted it, or you can just do Control V V. It's still the same thing. So when I do this thing, it has already pasted as a value. So the next thing I do is I delete it. But in some cases, if you want your dirty data set to be shown, you can come here and hide it. But I don't want to hide it. So what I still do is I want to delete it. I want it to go entirely without showing any error. So now I've pasted it as a value. I come and do delete. You see, nothing is not showing any error again. So the next one is I also come and create a new data set here. I insert. So you see here, it's not what I want that I'm getting, like it's, how should I say, it's scattered. So what I'm going to do is I copy. I want to remove this thing. I want to replace it with a dash. So I don't want it to be like this. Let me delete this first. I don't want it to be showing this. I don't want it to be showing this. So what I'm going to do is I do Control H. Control H, what it does, it finds a data you want to find in the sheet. And when you find it, you can also replace the data. That is what Control H does. So what I want to do is I want to find this thing. And after finding it, I want to replace it. That is the thing I want to do. I want to replace it after finding it. So the next thing I do is I do Control H. I delete this. I Control V, then I replace it with this. So I replace all. So I've already done it. So you see now all this that was showing all these whole thing, I have already cleaned the data set. So the next thing I do is make sure the things are clean and there's no extra space. And as I said before, imagine if this data set is big, you don't know whether there is too much space or whether there are some that are capital letter or small letter. So in order to do this, what I do next is that same insert, I create insert into this place. I copy the heading, which is the column. When I copy it, I paste it here. When I paste it, I do equals to trim brackets. Let me use capital letter. Use capital letter. Trim brackets. Proper brackets. I pick the row, which is C2. Alright. So I've gotten this. I do the same thing. Let me shift it. I do the same thing again in this place, which is equals to trim proper. I close the brackets. The next thing for the same thing, the third row. Also, proper. Plus a bracket. So now I've done 3 rows. I don't just want to be typing them one by one as I said before. So I just drag. When I drag it, I leave it. So the next thing I do, the next stuff I do, the next thing again I do is next thing I do again is it seems that I don't just want it to be like this. It's data is not that good, so let me go back and remove this proper. I don't like how the data is like. I just want to trim only it. So I press. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, let me do the same thing here. This. Here. I don't like how the second is having capital letter, the third, like, I don't like how it's like, so I prefer it to be like this. I just trimmed only it. I don't want it to have capital letter like second, two capital, two, then capital letter N. I don't want it, so I just remove the proper. I copy it, I paste it here, paste as values. Now I've pasted it, I'm done with column C. The next one I enter is column D. Then C now. If you notice, the spelling is not correct. So for me, what I do, though is the long way, what I do is I go to home, go to editing, and I filter it. Like see now, it showed me everything. So let us say I want to see blank spaces because I didn't remove any blank space. So I want to see blank spaces. So the next thing I do is, see, here is blank. So there are blank spaces for, see, you see there are blank spaces, but there's nothing here, so it's okay, you leave it like that. Due to there's nothing here, so you leave it. So you see this, you see democratic and democratic. You see that they are spelling, one is right, one is wrong. So what I do, I select both of them. And select blank, I select both of them. When I select both of them, I select democratic and democratic. Select them. So you see now, this is the correct one. Then this is the incorrect one. So what I do is, since this is the correct one, I drag this and drop it. You see, let us go to filter. You see the thing. You see, there is no too democratic again. It's now only replaced with the correct one. So the next thing, that is the same thing you do with Republicans and Republican. So the correct thing to put is Republican, not Republicans. So what I'll do, still that same thing again. You see here, there's Republican, but in case there's a big data set, you won't be able to notice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it. So the on top one, the on top one, which is correct, to replace the incorrect one. Or better still, I can just do Control H. If I do Control H, I replace it automatically. But I like doing this way. I like doing it this way because there are some periods I do Control H. It might not work for me, so I use this format. So the next thing, you look for the next thing also. This is wig and another wig again. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. The only one I want is this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of them also. See, if I select them, I drag again. I've replaced it. You see, I've replaced all this. So now I've replaced all this. The next one I'm going to do is the last one, which is this Democratic dash Republican. I don't like how this dash is so close to this Democratic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it. When I select it, I'm going to shift the dash. When I shift it, I press enter. So now I've already done this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag again. See, I've already replaced it. So you see now there is nothing here anymore. So I'm going to select everything again. So when I select everything again, to be on the safe side, to be honest, to be on the safe side, the thing I will do to be on the safe side is I'm going to remove this filter first. Then I'm going to trim and do properly again because imagine if I have a big data set like let me say 200 is the number of my data set, and I want to make sure everything is good. I can't come and start checking them one by one like this. I can't. So to be on the safe side, I do trim and proper. I insert this, I copy this. After copying, I copy this, I paste it here. So when I paste it here, I enter the second one, which is trim slash proper. Then I pick my cell value, which is D2. I close brackets, enter. The same thing here, trim. It's not much to do this. If you see that the format is good, it's not much, but to be on the safe side, I do this in case there is a row I missed that is not properly trimmed and the format is not okay. So I do this to be sure. I pick the next one, D3. I put enter. The same thing here. I do trim proper. I put D4, then I enter. So I've done this. The next thing I do is drag. When I drag it here. See, everything is okay now. Everything is okay. So what I do is I copy this, paste it as value. I delete this one because I don't want to have two of the same column. I delete it. So I've deleted this one. So the next one now, you see, this vice, there is extra space here, there's extra space here, there's space here, too much space here. So this is the place that you use trim especially to remove the excess space, the space that is more than usual. Use trim to remove it. So you see there's extra space. So the only thing I'm going to do here, the only thing I'm going to do here is I am going to trim, because let me copy this. So I do equals to trim. Then I do this and because everything is proper, is in the format I want it to be. So I do this. The same thing I do also. Let me just, I can't be copying this. Let me just copy this. Just copy this. Then trim. Then do the same thing here. Copy this. Thomas. And I do this also. Hold on. Then do this. You see now, that's why I did trim. You see, this space has already shifted. There is no more extra space here. So that is what I want to do with all this. So I drag it. You see now, there is no extra space, and the proper the spelling, the words are in a proper format, so I don't need to put proper. But in a way, in a case that your this thing your data is long and you can't check all the whole rows whether they're in a proper format, you put proper just to be sure. Then also, if you have a big data set and you can't check whether there is blank spaces, the thing you're going to do is you're going to check for blank space. You're going to check for blank space. And to check for blank space, you're going to go to find and select. I think you go to special. This is where you check for blank spaces. Yeah, and you press it to check for blank spaces. So due to the I can see my data set, there is no blank space here. I am good to go. So I'm already done with this one. I'm done with cleaning this data set. I entered the next one. So this one, as he said, salary, but it does not look like a salary. It looks like a plain number. And I want to give this a dollar sign, and I want to format it to be like a money, like to show that it is a salary. So the thing I do is I go here, I pick this. If I pick this, you see it has already formatted, but I don't want this 2.00. I don't want it. I want to remove it. So I go here. I remove the number. The same thing with here too. I just don't want it. So I remove the number. So the thing I do is I drag this. When I drag this, I stop here. You see, this is already good. It's good enough for me. So as you can see, it's already good. The data set is good. So the next thing I want to go to also, the next column I'll go to also is the date updated. As you can see now, this thing does not look like a date because what is 44391? There's nothing like there's no date that is 44391. So I want to put it in a short date format, like let me say like 4 slash 02/2022, something like that. So I highlight this column. So when I highlight this column, I go here. I look for short dates. See, I've already done it. So you see now it's only short date that is showing, which is the correct format. So which is 7/14/2021. Next one I do is I notice here it's having 7/12/14/2021. But there's no month that is okay. This is correct. This is the month. This is the this is the month, this is the date, and this is the year. So that is it. See? If you see the long date format, it says Wednesday, July 14th, 2021, which is this thing, 7th, which is a month, 14, which is the date, and 2021, which is the year. So I do the same thing here. I pick short dates. See? So you see this is 4th March 2012. So see it here in the long date format. Okay, let us say I want it to show this long date. I press here. See? Well, I don't want it to be like this. It's too long and everything. I don't want it to be like this. So what I'm going to do, I put it back in short dates because I don't want this long date format. And also the spacing is too much. So I'm just going to shift it more because the spacing just too much. So this is what I get. I got. So this is a clean data set. So if you compare this now to this, you see that there's a difference. There's a difference. So another thing is I want to format this in a table form. I don't just want it to be like this. I just want to format it in a table form. So I just have to, what I do, I go to format as table. I pick the format I want, which I want this. So I press this. It shows me, do you want your table, the formatted table to have headers? I tick here, which is yes, I want it to have headers. Then, as you can see, it has already highlighted all the places it's going to format as a table. If you go here now, you see it has already highlighted it. So if I finish this now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do okay. But before that, another thing I want to say is if you have a data set and the data set is too much and you don't want to be mistaken, you don't want to mistake this column for another column, what you're just going to do is you're just going to freeze it. You're just going to freeze this thing, this pin. So when you do, you go to view. When you go to view, you do freeze top row. So you've already freezed this pin. So now, in case you're scrolling, you see that the numbers are moving, but the column, which is the top row, is not moving. You're freezed it, so you won't be mistaken. So that is the thing I forgot to show you guys when we are cleaning the data set. So if you're done, you unfreeze the pin. So as I was saying, I want to format it as a table. I don't just want it to stay like this. So like this. It's not what I want. I just want to format it as a table. So I pick this. I want it my table to have headers. So sorry about that. Let me continue from what I'm doing. Format as a table. I want my table to have headers, so I pick OK. So now you see now the thing has been formatted as a table. Has been formatted as a table. Nothing is. I don't want, although filter buttons they are cool, but I don't want my table to have filter buttons. I don't want it to have filter buttons, but there are some people that like filter buttons, but I don't just want my table to have filter buttons. So what I'm just going to do, I'll go to this table design. After I've already formatted it as a table, this table design will come out. So I just click here. See? You see everything. It looks neat. It looks so neat. See how neat it is. Everything is so neat. So I'm saying I'm already done cleaning this data set. I'm already done cleaning this data set. It's already clean and formatted. So this is how to clean a data set in Excel. If you check, see this data set, see this one. You see that there's a difference in it. There's a difference in it, you see? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click it. Then I'll clean this, I'll name it, let me name it 13 data. Then if you cannot double click it, another way is you right click, you see rename. That will I'll say clean data niche. I'm already done with cleaning the data sets. So the next thing I do is I go here, I save it, I save the data. So let me just do save as. I go here after pressing save as. I want to save it in like my desktop, but I don't want to use this PC to save it here. I don't want to save it here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to browse. I want to look for a particular place to save it in. A place where I know if I'm looking for this thing, I go here. So I go to downloads. I can just save it as work, Excel work. So I've already saved it. So thank you everybody that stayed to watch how I clean this data set. This is how you clean a data set in Excel, a dirty data set in Excel before you start working with it. This is how you clean a data set from this to this. Thank you everybody for staying here. Thank you everyone. So